Hey, what is up guys? So the new patch notes came out for the PTR and a lot of you guys wanted my feedback. As a Roadhog main, you guys were like, yo, is Roadhog still going to be good after the PTR changes? Well, there's a lot of broken things that go along with all of the PTRs, pretty much. It's bound to happen. That's what a PTR is for. But anyways, there are some nerfs, there are some buffs to some heroes, and I want to go ahead and go over them and tell you guys my thoughts on them. Currently, Roadhog is still kind of broken in a sense on the PTR. Like, his hook doesn't even, like, work as well as it should. And they're going to obviously change and fix that. But anyways, I want to kick it off with SOMBRA because this buff is a joke to me. And I think a lot of you people also think it's a joke. But anyways, here's what they did with SOMBRA for a buff. So it says SOMBRA hack, the time it takes to hack a target has been decreased from 1 second to 0.8 seconds, which is still pretty bad. Like, that's not the problem with SOMBRA. I'm also going to read the developer comments on each one of these changes. But anyways, for SOMBRA, they said, SOMBRA often had difficulty hacking enemies. Even when she surprised the target, this change should help her execute hacks more easily. Which is true. It's going to help her a little bit. It is technically only a buff, but at the same time, SOMBRA isn't going to see more play because of this blizzard. And I think that they need to increase her damage, or they need to do something to make her more viable in the game. It's very difficult to actually make SOMBRA balance, because I feel like SOMBRA is one of those heroes where either she's way too good or just not good enough to the point where people are just going to be playing other things. Like I mentioned before, I think Tracer outclasses SOMBRA in the sense where if you want to be a flanker that gets really annoying, she just does the job better for the most part. I do have a video that I want to upload for you guys. It was with me and a very, very high-ranked Korean player. We actually comboed D.va and SOMBRA's ult, and I think that that's the best way you can actually use SOMBRA, but it's only available for certain maps to make it, like, very viable. But nonetheless, I feel like SOMBRA just needs increased damage, but I'll go ahead and go over what I think the changes need to be for any of the heroes mentioned by the new patch notes for the PTR. But keep in mind, guys, most of the time when the PTR has things changed, most of them go through unless of course it's like a bug, which is like, for example, when SOMBRA used to be able to hack through Reinhardt's shield. I think that that should be something that she should be able to do. That would make her much better, but would it make her like super meta? I don't know. But anyways, the next hero that I want to talk about, which is actually one of the more important ones because I'm a Roadhog player. Anyways, so they've actually changed Roadhog. There is a buff in this. Everyone thinks Roadhog's nerfed. He's completely useless from a lot of other videos. But the thing is, I think people overreact a lot of times. But anyways, his chain hook now targets... it says targets are now pulled directly in front of Roadhog rather than straight to him, except in cases where Roadhog drastically rotates. Or actually moves is what they should also add, because if he gets bopped or moved by something, like a Reinhardt charges and he's getting moved, then that can actually cancel certain things. But anyways, nonetheless, yeah, he can actually only pull targets like directly in front of him, which is actually really good. Again, the PTR has some bugs with it, like some of the pulls, like they don't even work properly. But anyways, it says hook targets are now released if they leave Roadhog's line of sight before being pulled. So that's actually a huge buff to a lot of things like Genji, like Tracer, things that like would normally like move and be out of like sight because they have. If you guys didn't know, Tracer actually has faster movement speed. There's a few heroes that have different movement speeds in the game. It's very minor, but it does matter. Anyways, line of sight checks which detect if targets should be initially hit by the hook are now done from Roadhog's position rather than the hook's position. So that matters a lot because if you were to hook someone and then essentially break line of sight, it would kind of make it so it doesn't work. Now, a lot of people consider this just a nerf. However, it is a buff because sometimes when you hook a Genji or something, you'll see that because of lag compensation, they will be like completely like in a different direction. Like you pull someone, they'll like fly up and like you can't hit them because it just doesn't bring you directly in front of the Roadhog when you get hooked by him. So at that point, that is a buff to Roadhog. It's more relevant on certain targets, but nonetheless, it is technically still a buff in one sense, but overall it's more nerf. But it is still slightly a buff. But the next hero that we're going to be talking about is D.va. It's pretty much just a nerf. But anyways, so D.va's health is being increased, but she's going to have less armor. So basically, her effective health pool is actually going to be smaller. And also for her weapon, the fusion cannons, the bullet damage is decreased by a decent amount. It goes from doing 3 damage to 2 damage, and then the number of bullets per shot has been increased from 8 to 11. So what that essentially means is you're going to deal 2 less damage on average in each shot. And I know it's a shotgun, however, this is actually pretty big because a lot of people didn't mention it when I was watching other people talk about this. But a lot of people that make these Overwatch channels and news channels, a lot of them are like diamond-ish players, and anywhere from like Plat to Diamond. I think that there's a huge difference between Grandmaster and Masters, or from Diamond to Plat, because in Plat and Diamond, you'll still see some other heroes, where in Masters and Grandmasters, you just don't see them. It just doesn't happen as often. I mean, I know people grief and they'll play certain things, but for the most part, there's a lot less of heroes. But the thing that is important with this is the headshot multiplier will be taken into consideration with D.Va. So instead of hitting for 6 damage on a headshot, you would now hit for 4. Even though you are shooting more, it technically makes the threshold of having headshots less valuable on D.Va. But overall, I still think she's going to be relatively strong. But I'll get into that in a second. I'll talk about my thoughts on certain things that need to be changed. But anyways, Ana, pretty self-explanatory. Biotic Grenade healing boost on allies has been decreased by 50%. So that makes it less viable to just sit there and heal tanks over and over and have it so like they just don't die as easily as they once would when, you know, of course, she's getting that nerf. But overall, let me go ahead and actually talk about it, because now I've gone ahead and already given you guys all of the patch notes. I want to go ahead and go over like what I think about these changes, because a lot of you guys have asked me in the live stream, and I figured, you know what, I'll just link them to this video so they can get everything out of the way, because sometimes when I'm playing in ranked, I try hard and I don't read chat. So anyways, so first off, Sombra, okay, the buff is not enough. She needs something like more damage, less recoil. She has to be able to hack targets instantly, or just do something to make her just, again, way more viable, because she just won't see any play. She has the lowest pick rate in unranked and in ranked. So that's a pretty big deal, because, you know, not even the scrubs want to play Sombra just because she's not good enough is really what it comes down to. All it comes down to is she's in the attack category. Give her damage. I mean, maybe lower her health, let her be a little bit more mobile, but at that point she's kind of like Tracer. I don't know, they need to change something with Sombra though. I don't know if they will do a complete rework similar to what they did with Symmetra, but they really need to change up Sombra, because I don't feel like playing her for the most part. There is a really good clip that I will share with you guys when I was playing with, like I said, a Korean player, and we were comboing a D.Va ult and a Sombra ult, and it just worked so well. It looked like it was MLG Pro. It made Sombra look like she was going to be meta, but it's conditional to certain things. But nonetheless, I think they need to really do something with Sombra. You guys can let me know what you think they should do to Sombra. But overall, I think she needs higher damage, or they just need to rework her and not put her in the offensive category, because she is not offensive. Zenyatta can walk up to her and out DPS her. Like, she just doesn't do enough damage is what it comes down to. As far as the changes on Roadhog and the hook, Roadhog was kind of broken, like, and I mean like not like overpowered broken. I mean like it's not working as intended. That's just kind of what it comes down to as far as Roadhog's hook. So that wasn't something that Blizzard wanted to do, but it was just very difficult to program, and eventually, I guess they are trying to get it right. Again, the PTR is kind of buggy. Like, you should hook some people, and you don't now because of certain objects, collision issues with destructible objects, but that'll probably be fixed. I think that this change will probably go through. I think they should buff Sombra in some other way also. That will definitely go through. As far as Roadhog's things, as far as his changes, they'll probably go through as well. But nonetheless, I think it is technically overall a bigger nerf than a buff to Roadhog. Because like I said, it is slightly a buff, because certain times when you would pull other things, they would like go in you. I'll do the right click with Roadhog is so dirty right there. Get one shot and Genji. But nonetheless, I think the changes to Roadhog are relatively good. Because again, it's a lot of times when you would hook people, it wasn't intentional. Like, you would get a hook on someone that didn't deserve to be hooked. And I've done that many times, because I pretty much would say I am a Roadhog main. But nonetheless, yeah, they're pulled directly in front of him, so it is, again, a slightly buff in a way. But I think the changes are overall good on Roadhog. As far as D.Va goes, I think that that's good, because she was actually really good for the amount of skill that you had to be executed when you played her. I think that things like Ana, they're very good, but you have to have skill. Like Genji, he's good, but you have to have skill. D.Va, I feel like you didn't really need that much skill. Yes, there's times for pushing off people. Yes, there's certain scenarios. But overall, I felt like she got so much value for the difficulty required for her to be played at like a relatively good level. Are these changes going to make her see zero play? Is this going to change up the tank meta? I don't really feel like it's going to drastically change up the tank meta, simply because of D.Va. Now, the Ana change kind of will shift things a little bit more, but I still think that tank meta is definitely not like bad by any means. It's not like, wow, they're playing 3 tanks, auto lose. But nonetheless, yeah, she's going to be less effective in the game now. So I think that people will, of course, want to play her less because of this patch. But the thing is again, I don't think it's that drastic enough for people to be like, you know what, never play D.Va again. It's not that bad. But lastly, we have Ana, which is the healing boost on allies has been decreased. I think the main problem was the grenade and the anti-heal and the sleep. I feel like when I get put to sleep as a tank, like sometimes when I'm playing a tank, I just get put to sleep so many times against an Ana. Like I'll try to hook the Ana and she'll just instantly be there to put me to sleep before like everything connects. But nonetheless, yeah, I feel like the changes to Ana are pretty good, but I think the main problem is the anti-heal grenade. Like, it shouldn't boost your allies, heal them for 100, and also make it so other people can't be healed. It gives you way too much revenge. And also, I feel like perhaps just on Zenyatta's ult, it shouldn't be able to affect it. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that, just because I've had it so many times where, like, we have a Zenyatta, and everyone will get close, and then Ana will throw the grenade, and Zenyatta can't discord, it can't Harmony Orb, and then also we're all taking damage, and we can't be healed. So I feel like perhaps that could be a change. Look at this, I grabbed the soldier, perfectly fine, but then put Resonant Sleeper. But I think that this will be a change to the tank meta for some players. Like, some players will see this and be like, oh, Ana's not that great as a solo healer anymore, because that's a pretty big change. In addition to Ana's grenade not giving the 100%, and it's now halved as far as giving the extra additional healing. That makes Lucio and a grenade less viable technically, because there's a lot of times where Zarya will just ult people. And oh, look at that pull on Tracer though, that was dirty. But there'll be times where Zarya will ult, suck everyone up, and then Ana can just throw a grenade, Lucio can just amp it up, Soldier can throw down his heal, and then you can like sustain super hard. So some of those like Zarya ults will be more valuable now technically, because Ana won't be able to basically keep everyone up and alive. People won't be surviving with 1 HP anymore, because I swear that happens so often. But nonetheless, I think these changes are overall pretty good for the game. However, I just feel like Sombra needs a bigger buff. I wanted to play Sombra, and I think a lot of people wanted to play her too, but this is kind of a joke, honestly, and that's why a lot of people are like, what do you think of the Sombra buffs, Kappa? But nonetheless, yeah, those are my thoughts on the patch notes. If you guys disagree with me on anything, I would love to know what you guys would do as far as changes. I think overall, all the changes are fine. I don't think anything is overpowered or underpowered, minus Sombra. They really just need to buff her, and I would like to see them buff other heroes that see less play in the game. McCree is seeing a lot less play in like the areas of, like, I would say gold. Well, yeah, I'd say gold to like diamond. He just sees a lot less play. Some master players are like gods at headshots, and at that point, McCree's still good. But overall, like, it's very difficult to be as effective as McCree as you would be as, like, a soldier or something like that. But anyways, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours down below. But thanks for watching, guys, and I am signing out.